Hey everybody, Miss Teacher here. We're taking a look at question number 7, which is a little tricky. Probably a good idea to map it out on a number line so that you can really think about what's going on here. Josephine bought a CD that cost $18. She handed the clerk D dollars. She received more than $30 in change. Which inequality best represents D, the number of dollars she handed the clerk? Let's think about a completely unrelated hypothetical example just so we can understand this idea of change. If you give the clerk $50 and you buy something that costs $10, that would be subtracted from the 50, and that's how much change you would get. Well, in our example, we don't know how much is handed the clerk. We're trying to figure that out. But we do know that the item costs $18, and we know that we're supposed to be getting not exactly 30, but more than $30 in change. Now, if we were to figure out what is this, let's pretend we didn't know this value. What would we have to do with these two numbers to get 50? And the answer is add. So we're going to apply that same logic to our inequality that we don't know what symbol to use. We're going to go ahead and use inverse operations, which means we're going to be adding 18 to both sides of the inequality. This is going to cancel out. We'll bring down the D. I'm just going to bring it over here. We don't know the symbol yet because we're going to look at our number line here to help us determine. And then we can go ahead and add this, and we're going to get 48. Now what I've done here to help you is I've mapped out the cost of the item, because remember that if you take the cost of the item and add it to the change, cost of the item plus the change would equal how much you hand the clerk. So cost of item plus the change, if you add those two things together, would equal how much you're handing the clerk. Now the only thing that makes this a little bit tricky, we know this, $18. Now the change, remember, has to be more than $30. Now this line here, I'll just show you that I made a line that's exactly 30, and I'll just add it on to my little blue line. Now that's exactly 30. It has to be more than that. So if we extend this line to maybe be here, for example, to make that amount actually what I have represented in yellow, right? Let's say that that's the change. What's a potential value for that yellow line? Because that's what they want to know. They want to know which inequality best represents D, the number of dollars she handed the clerk. So we need to know this amount. See, we got to move this over. We need to figure out this amount. What does that have to be? Because it can't be exactly that, right? It's got to be a little bit more. So look at the choices here that fit what I have mapped out here and ask yourself, is the or equals thing going to work out here? Would that be more, or would that just make it equal? Make sure you pick the one that actually makes it more. All right, good luck finishing that up.